Good morning and welcome to the November 9th meeting of the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners. We're glad that you're here. I just want to recognize that we have three commissioner-elects, Worsley, Collins, and King. We're glad you're here this morning, and Ms. Kay King, who retained her seat on the school board. Glad to have you this morning. At this time, we ask if you have a cell phone or any electronic devices, would you please just silence them until we're finished with the meeting, and please stand for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you that we once again have the opportunity to come together to talk about and take care of the business of this county, as we always do, Lord. We just ask that you would guide our thoughts, our actions, our words, that we do, first of all, what is pleasing to you and what is in the best interest of all of us who call Meriwether County home. Be with everyone who is here today. We ask that you watch over each one as they return back to their respective places. We pray these things in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first order of business will be to adopt the agenda. Are there any changes that need to be made? Hearing none, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? Next, we have our finance report. Mr. Gregory.
Madam Chair, you have the report in front of you this morning. Everything's pretty standard. We still have a good, strong balance in the general fund. We should be getting first of the tax receipts probably at the end of this month, first of next month. So that's encouraging there. I will be transferring some of the funds from a couple of the accounts to the Georgia Treasury LGIP accounts, because that interest rate is up to about 3.5%, where the banks are still around 1%. So,
what accounts are you transferring from?
It'll probably be from the T-SPLOS up to the LGIP T-SPLOS, is the main one. And I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it was. So the month of October, due to those high interest rates in the LGIP, we pulled in about $10,000 in interest, which is like 3 times more than what it's been in the previous 3 or 4 months.
That's good.
Transfer the full $1 million.
And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank you. Do we have anyone signed up for citizen comment?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll move on. We have the minutes of the October 25th, 2022, 6 p.m. regular meeting. You've had an opportunity to look over the minutes. Are there any changes that need to be made?
Hearing none, I make a motion to accept.
Or we have a second? All in favor? Thank you. We do not have a need for public hearing. We have no appointments, no unfinished business. So we'll move on down to new business. This will be to set the date and notice for Meriwether County and City's joint 2022-2042 comprehensive plan update.
Madam Chair and Board, if you'll remember back in September, the Board of Commissioners authorized staff to move forward with Three Rivers Regional Commission for the update needed. We would like to begin this process. We've been in touch with Paul Jarrell with Three Rivers. We would like to set this public hearing for November 22nd, which is our next meeting, at 6 p.m.
Okay, anyone have any questions? Hearing none, can we have a motion to approve the November 22nd, 6 p.m. meeting?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is resolution for special called election to set qualifying fees for tax commissioner of Meriwether County.
Madam Chair and staff, you do have the OCGA law as well as an issue paper that explains this in your packet. Our attorney can answer any questions you might, any legal questions you might have regarding this, but this is to set up a special election and set the qualifying fees for the vacancy in the office of the tax commissioner.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
Madam Chair, maybe I don't have it, I'm overlooking. You said we have the state law in the package.
Here's a copy. if you don't. Anybody else need a copy?
No, it's in here.
So,
Well, it's just here.
I'm sorry, the issue paper is there.
yeah, that's right. It's just the actual law. Okay.
Madam Chair, I do have a question. Maybe the attorney can answer this as well. So in reading this, and this is the first time I've seen it, it says vacancies. Since the board had appointed someone to this position, and they weren't elected, is this the reason, one of the reasons we have to have this? Or, because it's not,
It's because, per the statute, it's like if they, what it says here, if the unexpired term exceeds 6 months, then they have to have an election. But if it was less than 6 months,
you don't have
then
to.
they would just hold that office until the end of the year. It's pretty common in, like, a lot of county commissions have that, so like, you know.
Right.
Picking on Beth, if Beth were to just resign, you know, somebody would, right, this late in the game, they would fill her term till the end, but if she would resign, like, in her first year, then there's a special election.
Anything over, if it's more than 6 months, there's.
That's in most places, it's set by statute. I mean,
Okay.
and so it's just that's the only thing I've ever seen in statute, but that's what it says for the tax commissioner office in statutes.
Are there any other questions?
I do have one other question. So how much will this cost the county to have the special election? Or is it the standard?
Well, we've calculated the prices. Let me see, I can pull those up for you. I'm sorry, I don't have it because this was done late yesterday afternoon.
I think that's irrelevant, really, because we have to do it.
Well,
Why,
they're the same, well, I mean, an
Right.
election costs the
Correct.
same, whatever, depending on the office. It doesn't depend on the office. I mean, Patty's here, but I'm pretty sure it's an election that costs the same regardless of what's being on the ballot.
There's a possibility other things will be held at the same time, if I'm not.
It could be added to it
Right.
if there's a need.
And with that being said, I mean, I think that it would be irrelevant. It's the matter of the state's going to set the date, any special elections.
Yeah, we're just trying to follow the statute.
Right.
and that's fine. I mean, I still think, it may be irrelevant to other board members, but
It
I
will
would
be a
like to know.
cost. It
I know
will be a
there's a
cost.
cost,
Yeah,
and
there'll be a
just
cost.
have a general idea of what that cost may be, that's all.
It will.
It's based on the salary, it's 3% of that. Our estimate right now is 1778.88.
That's the qualifying fee.
But that's an estimate, we're still working on.
You were asking about the cost for the election itself. Is that what you
Just
were
a general
asking?
idea.
And that will vary based on how many are included in a special election, and if there's any.
And anything else that's added
That's
to it.
correct.
Any other questions on the ballot?
That may be put on there as well.
Yeah,
can put other
just like we had
resolutions.
yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, can we have a motion to approve the resolution for the special call election to set the qualifying fees for tax commissioner?
Does
for
Beth have
Meriwether
to
County?
sign that resolution?
We need to prepare it, and it'll go through legal and then be signed by the chair, yes,
So I make
please.
the motion with the chair to sign.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? All right, thank you. Next will be the approval and execution of the MOA for County Bridge Replacement Candidate CR 246, CR 412, Flat Shoals over Flint River.
Madam Chair and Board, this was brought to you all probably about a year and a half ago. GDOT does work a little slow, so they did put forth the memorandum of agreement. It has been reviewed by legal. Exhibit A was missing, but we've gotten that fleshed out. And the financial obligation required by the county is 50% of the right-of-way acquisition, and it is a Tier 3 project, so it can be up to $100,000.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Hearing none, can we have a motion to approve and execute the MOA?
I move we proceed with the approval and execution of the MOA.
We will.
Bridge replacement.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Our funding source we recommend is either T-SPLOST or ARP.
You want to do that with T-Splosh?
T-Splosh looks like to me it's doing well. Yeah, let's just put it at T-Splosh. That's the addendum I added to the motion.
Okay.
Might want to also add not to exceed that 100,000, because I think that's the way it's intended.
Okay.
And it's in the
Not
agreement.
to exceed.
Not to exceed 100,000. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? All right, thank you. Approval of Meriwether County Code of Conduct.
On October 25th, the board authorized the county attorney to draft a code of conduct that is included in your packet for local governmental grounds in Meriwether County. We do have Chief Deputy Hadley here, as well as Nathan, to answer any questions regarding this code of conduct.
Who wants to start with?
Madam Chair?
Uh-huh.
First of all, I want to say it's very well drafted, so thank for those who put it together. The only thing that I have is one section where it says taking photos and recording videos of Meriwether County employees or patrons without their permission. The only thing I want to ask is, and Nathan can elaborate this. I know when people come to this meeting, they can record and take pictures, so I guess I just need more clarity on that as far as, is this when we're not having commissioner meetings or any other time? Can you elaborate a little bit
This is for
more?
your facilities use.
Just for the facility
Yeah,
use?
and look, if y'all, y'all can take, this is not like a law. If y'all don't like that, you can take it out. This is for y'all's consideration. We just put that, we use forms, and Michael worked with Byron, tried to put something together that would accomplish what we thought y'all wanted. But by all means, if you want us to add something, if you want us to clarify something, y'all let us know, and we'll change it.
Well, that's what I said earlier. It's very well drafted,
Yeah.
and I think overall a lot has been put into this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get a little clearer, more understanding, because I know that when people come to commissioner meetings, city council meetings, there are times when they're taking pictures and they're recording. So I'm just needing to verify whether or not, if it was a meeting like today, if someone comes in and start recording, how does that apply?
That's interesting.
Well, we record ourselves.
And I know that.
And I think my only question, as elected officials, you sort of, you open yourself for that anyway.
Anyway,
But
yeah.
our employees don't.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So-
When I read it the first time, in my mind, I was thinking somebody's renting a facility and you have some of your employees there and you got somebody filming your employee. That I didn't think about it the way you are. So yeah, that is what I was thinking about, but I see your point. in
The only
that.
thing is, once again, clarity and transparency, because, once again, like I stated earlier, I think the whole drafting of this is done extremely well. That was just one of my thoughts and concerns, that's all.
We'll just, if the board will give us direction, we'll happy, y'all tell us what y'all would like this to achieve. And we'll be happy to work on it till we got it like we like it.
Go ahead.
This is really no different than like no dogs,
Yeah.
These aren't legal matters, it's kind of like what you want. You can't make an illegal, you can't tell somebody you can't do something that's legal, but I'm saying this is really like, it's your building, y'all are just making rules to use as the owners of the building. So that's all, we're really looking for y'all for direction on what rules y'all want in place, and we'll put them in there for you.
Yes.
I think I was ready to come up just.
Okay.
I think this is a starting point for the county in regard to some of the issues and stuff that we've dealt with lately, and I think that there's got to be a line drawn at some point in time where we do this, and I think this is a good start to it. The only thing that I want to do is just point out to, if you look at them, I numbered mine as I went down. So number 12, the posting and distributing, going back to, and then on your back next page, 27, those items where it says taking the photographs. Then 28, possessing the weapons, and then 29 related to violating other facility policy and guidelines. The only thing that I would suggest on that standpoint is that legal and others look at this further regarding whether it meets the constitutional things on that. The other part of that being is, on 28, there is a requirement on the law for Century of being posted and that kind of things, and that's up under OCGA, and I think those are things that need to be making sure that it's clear, because and ultimately, if there is a violation, this is where it gets to the level of where law enforcement would be required, we want to make sure that we're correct on what we're doing, and it needs to be valid on its face that we do that. So my suggestion is y'all look at this further, maybe do a little bit more research on that aspect of it, and I'll be glad to fill in any blanks of that if I can help on that part of it. You know, your employees' rights don't stop when somebody else thinks theirs begins. And I think at some stage of the game that there will be a court test of this later on. And I just, if there is court statute made, I want it to be good case law and not bad. So that would be the things that I would say exactly. And the other things look just right on in line with what would normally be customary. So number 12, 27, 28.
Number 12, because ours isn't numbered.
Okay, if you mark it, it's
Well,
that
no, he
posting or
numbered his.
distributing the literature, and then the 27 is taking the photographs. 28 is exclusive to also to on-duty law enforcement personnel, and I would suggest that you look at that be certified law enforcement and active and retired that are in good standing with post would not be excluded, or others that are permitted based on what the statutes require on that, because it's a force multiplier if you've got somebody else that's law enforcement to be here to assist, even if you do have a sentry posted in that set of circumstances. So that's something that I would suggest if you think about. And then the 28, that's the 28. And then 29 is the violating the other policies. They would have to be, you would have to make sure that those things are posted for it to be in effect. You can't just, I don't think you can blanket that without it being posted what your other policies and procedures would be. So that's my personal belief.
I asked the question. Thank you for bringing that to our attention as well, and your input in this. So when you say posted, is that mean posted outside the buildings?
Yeah,
Is
just-
that on your Facebook page or?
I just think it needs to be, in the facility here, in the facility. Yeah, I'm just saying, here, you put, if there's any question, you can refer them over that. There's no need for employees to have to argue with somebody about something related to it, and they're not required to. I think once that person has finished their county business, my personal belief, and Nathan should be able to help with more, I think once that business aspect is taken care of, there is no more responsibility of the employee nor the county to allow for the disruption of the organization, and you can't have your employees in a hostile type set of them circumstances. So there's got to be something there. Like I said, I don't think the employee's rights end because somebody else's thinks theirs begins. So I think those are the things that need to be looked at, and I think that this is something that's not just happening here; it's happening all over. So, but there again, that's some of that's my personal, and some of it's based on statute related to the century and that kind of stuff. When you look at it up on that, anything else? Is that?
Thank you for your input. I think it was
Y'all
good.
maybe look at it and y'all let us know, because again, y'all know better than we do what goes on in facilities, and y'all may look at this and be like, I really like to see, I'm gonna make it up, no dogs allowed or something. Or Nathan, we don't think that lying down is okay if somebody wants to lie down. So we really need direction from you guys. Byron is right, and we'll look at the law and we'll continue working with Byron, but just in general, tell us and we'll look at the law and see if there's a problem or not.
Let me ask one thing, down close to the bottom of the second page where it talks about if the violator refuses to leave after being directed to do so, and I think Michelle and I talked about this yesterday, it says staff or law enforcement may seek to charge the violator. I think there's a process the staff would have to go through. I don't know, I know it says may.
Well, I think what envisions is like if it's state law,
Okay.
loitering or something, law enforcement could charge them. If it's an ordinance violation, your code enforcement could charge them, or your law enforcement could charge them as well.
Okay, it just
And
said
second-
staff, so I guess I was just picturing
Staff
Doris
would be-
having to go and file something.
Staff would be code enforcement.
Okay.
Now,
That's a good point. though.
Maybe we need to put
yeah.
that in there then.
These
but-
are all examples, because we can work this thing for 10 years and still not get it perfect.
The other
You have to
part
start
about
somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta start somewhere,
start
and we can
somewhere.
change it at any time.
So, Madam Chair, does this need, in adopting this will go into our code as well? Is, like you said, you have code enforcers to do certain things. Will this also go in line with them as far as what they should be able to do once we ratify this?
Can I answer that one?
Nathan, yeah, please. It's more of a policy, isn't it?
Yeah, this is your administrative part of that part over there, but if there's violation of the law, that would be, your code enforcement can't enforce the state code. It would fall back on the law enforcement, back to the staff part of it there. If the staff, on a misdemeanor, any one of you, if you feel like there's violation of what it is, you make a report, you have the right to seek go before a judicial officer to seek a warrant against that person for misdemeanor violation. So that could be plausible if it is, but in most situations, we handle those situations in regard to it. But back to code enforcement, that wouldn't apply based on our end unless you're gonna make it part of your code of ordinance
That's right.
Okay,
as well.
thank you for the clarity, that was good.
So I make a motion to table.
And will y'all let us know, you know?
I said, when you
and we
can
don't
send-
have to, in a meeting, y'all can send Michelle a list of things and however y'all wanna do it.
Is 2 weeks enough that we can make him bring it back in our meeting in 2 weeks? Is that, let's try for that, okay? We just have 2 more meetings this year, so if we could get this one.
So you need a second on the table, right?
Yes, have a second?
We can knock it out on our end, no problem, once we have some. Now, we may have to look at some, depending on what it is, we may have to look at the law on something.
Okay.
Just
All right.
add or take it, and won't take any time.
All right, we have a motion to table to our next meeting. We have a second?
Buster says.
You second. All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. Thank you for your work on that. Next is the approval of clinical rotation agreement with Upson Regional for Meriwether County Fire Rescue EMS Academy.
Madam Chair and Board, as you know, Meriwether County Fire Rescue is a growing department. In the last couple of years, they have established a training program for firefighters as well as EMTs. Because of this, there are clinical hours that are needed, some that they cannot fulfill in the places that they go, one specialty being pediatrics. This is a clinical agreement, or clinical rotation agreement with Upson Regional Medical Center. It has been reviewed by law, and staff recommends approval. Interim Chief Danny Stevens is here if you all have any questions.
Madam Chair, I do have a question. On the contract, it's got September the 22nd. Is that's the correct date? Has it already been, or we're getting ready?
It's been in process for a while. We'll make sure the date is changed.
It's a great program.
And we may be bringing it forth with other facilities as well.
What is our cost on this?
There is no cost.
This is just an agreement to make sure that we cover, especially HIPAA, with our employees as well.
Yeah, because the
I can
microphone.
hear you.
So this is just an agreement to make sure that we cover some HIPAA stuff with our employees, as well as cover them with a liability insurance. Now, we do have students that participate in this program that are not employees of Meriwether County. Per the state, we have to open those classes up, and anybody that wants to can sign in. But with that, in their paperwork that they get when they start this class, it says in there that they must obtain their own insurance policy, and there's a cost in it and things like that. And I can also provide you guys with that as well, our little documents that we have for our EMS program. But they have to purchase insurance, liability insurance, before they can do these clinical rotations on our ambulance as well as in these ER settings. And there again, a lot of our students just do the EMT basic class. Is we can get most of those contacts and clinical contacts through riding on our ambulances. And we do that. We got a program set up for that. When we start getting into the advanced level providers, that's where the pediatrics come in. There's more contacts for those and things like that. And so that's why we try to go to the hospitals. This is not uncommon to do clinical rotations
Sounds good.
in a hospital setting.
Sounds a great program. And you're saying there's a possibility that we can build this relationship with other hospitals or, in the surrounding areas?
Absolutely. We've reached out to West Georgia and as well as Warm Springs Medical Center. So you'll probably see some more of these agreements come for those facilities as well.
Do y'all do your own in-house BLS and ACLS?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any questions? Can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All right, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor? All right. I do have one more thing I just want to mention. When it's the negative things that always get the attention. We do not always hear the good things. And I just want to take a minute to read a note here from a citizen. And I think all of you have copies of it with your information. On August the 8th, the Meriwether County Fire Department responded to a fire at 5358 Keith Road in Hogansville. Our neighbor, Michelle Cameron, I think is what it says, was the first to arrive and not scheduled to work that day. We are sorry we have no other names. We want to express our deep gratitude and appreciation for your rapid response and terrific job. Everyone went above and beyond and even loaded a freezer onto my step-son-in-law's truck so we could save the contents. Please pass along our thanks and gratitude to your firefighters and EMS personnel. Nothing I can put on this paper can convey our appreciation for everyone involved, but please know we are so thankful for all of you. Blessings to you and all of your families. So congratulations to all of you, and it's always nice when people take the time to give us the positive feedback, because so many times that's not what we get. All right. All right, next on the agenda is the bid award for surplus property parcel ID 164004001 and authorization for the execution of a quitclaim deed.
Madam Chair and Board, this was declared surplus on December 28th, 2021. It was advertised with starting bids no lower than $650. We received one bid, and it came in the amount of $707.
Okay. Can we have a motion to approve and to award this bid?
So move.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Next, discussion of Meriwether County paying for utilities at Manchester Fire.
Madam Chair and staff, in your packet, there is information on a issue paper from myself regarding this issue. In the past, Meriwether County has been paying for these utilities at the city of Manchester. These payments date back to at least the early 2000s. Information was provided by City of Manchester. It is in your packet. I have since asked for an executed copy of the contract that is in your packet. I received an email from Ms. Fowler at City of Manchester, I believe yesterday, the 8th. It says the information sent is what I found. I was not the keeper of records in 1999, and I'm not sure how it was filed. The county should have a copy of the intergovernmental agreement from 1999. If you would locate it, I would like a copy for the city records. We have not, as the county, located any executed agreement or any agreement at all, just what Manchester sent. There was some contention back then, and it was around the service delivery strategy. The information in here relates back to the 2008 service delivery strategy. Since then, there's been two updates, 2018 and 2021, which are included in your packet as well. In there, it shows how Manchester does offer a higher level of service and how they fund it. It does not include any funding from the county. The only thing that was provided in addition to what's in your packet is a memorandum from 1999, and I'll pass that around. I have a few copies of that, but no executed contract has been located.
You need one.
I have one. You need one, Nathan? There is a lot of information here. If anyone has any questions, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Well, I'd just like to make a couple of comments. I did have the opportunity to talk with the mayor and city manager in Manchester, and from everything I've read in this was something that was done before we had a paid fire department ourselves. And I think in gist, it was that we were paying that, and for them to cover a radius of 2 miles outside of their city limits. And if I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. And we don't really have that need anymore, because we have a paid fire department, and any of our fire departments could be to those areas just as quick, if not quicker, than the station in Manchester. And I mean, like I said, none of us were on the board back then and do not know, all the story, I'm sure. But it's just things have changed a lot since then. And personally, I just don't see the need to continue to do this.
Beth and I had the same conversation with the city manager and the mayor at the same time, and as their representative, I told them there is no need to go any further with this for payments on it, because as she stated, it was for a reason, as they indicated then, but that reason is not valid at this point. So I do not feel that we need to continue paying this, and I wish we had known it much, much sooner. But I think every one of us on this board that has signed checks are guilty over the years for not actually looking at the invoices with the checks that we have signed. So again, every one of us on this board is probably guilty for not finding it before now.
Madam Chair.
Uh-huh.
Once this was brought to our attention, I also decided to do some due diligence, and so I went back to looking at and reading some of the minutes. I started in 1998 and went all the way to the end of 1999. So in December the 19th in 1999, it does address this in the minutes, but once again, it does not indicate there was a vote or clarification. So once again, as Commissioner Threadgill just said, there are times as commissioners, we do make decisions based on the information at hand. But once again, you can't undo what's been done, but as a board, whether this board, the previous, the boards, the members that's coming on and previous, we have as commissioner a fiduciary to be good stewards of money, taxpayers' money. And so there has been a lot of things brought to this board's attention since I've been on the board that we were unaware of. So I do think that once you become aware of something, you do have to do it. But I encourage this board and any other board that there are some policies that we need to adopt to address some of these things, prior. As you all know, we had a situation, and I did read about the situation with the pastor and the thing, and it was voted on, but it was never an amount voted on. It's in the minutes.
Pastor.
Pastor, I'm
I thought
sorry.
you said the pastor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought,
Pastor,
why are we
okay.
funding the preacher?
The cow pasture.
The cow pasture.
Okay, yes.
Where it was voted to allow someone to graze their cattle on it, but there was never an amount or anything did in it. So, at the end of the day, you can't undo what's already been done, but I think there needs to be something put in place that has more checks and balance. So I do have one question. When did we actually receive this invoice?
Bill, do you have the date on that handy?
And we're current.
The invoice that I gave you yesterday, we received it on October 3rd.
And we paid it on October the 10th.
That's correct.
I guess my concern is to receive an invoice of that magnitude, and even though we went ahead and paid it, I think there should have been, before then, we should have done some homework or some due diligence as well. We rely on the professionals that we have in our office, and they do a great job, but once again, I encourage to have some more checks and balance on how things are done.
And another thing that's in that contract, this was set for 20 years, which would have expired about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. But it does say, and I don't know, legal will have to help us with this, what we need to do. It does say that if there's nothing from either party, it does automatically renew, and you're supposed to give a certain amount of time. So legal's gonna have to tell us, we have to do what we have to do, but if we have to do it to fulfill the legal obligation of it for a certain period of time, you just.
We don't know if this is your most, 99 certainly is not your most current service delivery stuff.
Oh, no.
No. But that contract part of it is in 99, but it's not an executed contract. So
Yeah.
therefore, with the stipulations of 12-month notification from either party to cancel, if it's not executed, that is not valid, right?
But if the contract, if you never actually sign it, but you both act, right, if it's in place, then
Okay.
it's probably fine. I just have to look at it a little bit
Yeah.
further.
We want to do it right, but I just don't.
But again, let me make sure I understand it. Are you saying that this is the agreement because it's automatically renewed, or are you saying we actually have two different service delivery strategy since this?
No, the service delivery strategy was redone in 2018 and 2021. This is the contract from 1999.
This is the contract. It's not
It
a
was
part of
only
the
a
service
contract.
delivery strategy.
No,
I'll get with
No.
Michelle.
Okay.
Figure it out.
yeah, because we need to know so we can go ahead and stop it, because we expressed to Manchester, we don't see the need any longer to do it, and we're not going to continue
And
paying.
I'm sure it served a
Right.
need at the time, and I'm not discounting what, but that's a long time ago. None
But
of
we
us
just
were
need to
here.
know, but we just need to know if it is a 12-month period that we have to give them notice of.
Figure that out, no problem.
And, Madam Chair, and I just want, if Michelle can do this, so for our, like, the city of Gay, since we now have a full-time fire department, we're paying all the utilities for, and I just want to get clarification, for those stations. And are we paying their water bills, utilities? I know they're part of our system now. We just want to make sure that those things are being done as well.
They are part of our system, and that is listed in the service delivery strategy. It does say that the county controls those stations, and City of Manchester is the only city that offers a higher level of service.
And I know this
And
is a
because they
discussion.
offer a higher level of service, their responsibility is for the expenses.
For the expenses.
And it's listed in the service delivery strategy, and this was not.
I guess the other thing, and you know, just maybe just not ignorance on my part, but the water bill, I can understand, you know, the utilities and the cable, but you know, I wasn't there in 1999 and none of us were, but I just don't understand the value of being charged water.
I didn't either, and I asked them in our meeting. I did.
And their facilities do pay for their water.
So I'm
Now,
saying-
that what, they weren't doing it then, but now if you have a facility and if it's a city facility, they do actually pay their water.
My
for their
question to
water.
them
But
was,
that
do you
ex-
charge your own city
City.
properties for your city water?
And what was the
They have
answer?
not in the past, but they are starting. They documented that, and they have to for certain grants to be in place. So I said, well, why would we pay the city for your own city water at your city facility?
Okay, so they gave you, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a valid question to ask.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, if you're not charging yourself for your own water, why would the county pay
Why
for
would
your
the
water?
county pay for your water? Okay. Thank you all for that.
But I know this is a discussion, but I do want to put a motion on the table not to pay any additional until we find out from our attorneys the stipulations that we need to cancel this.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we move on to our report from our county administrator.
I just want to remind everyone that today at 2:00 is the boat ramp ribbon cutting. If you can attend, please make sure you do attend. Paving on Luthersville Road is complete. The shoulder work and striping is still outstanding, but the paving is finished. The Board of Education this week approved radios. I'll get an update on that and have that, I'll send that information out to y'all, but they did approve the radios that we recently approved. Thanksgiving is coming. Thanksgiving lunch that y'all approved will be Friday, November 18th. We have a schedule. I will send that out to y'all as well. If anyone would like to volunteer to help serve, that would be excellent. Just get in touch with me. I'll send that information out to y'all.
I'll be here.
And let me see, I think that is all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll move to report from county commissioners. We'll start with Commissioner Hines.
First of all, I would like to say congratulations to all those who ran for office and won. Congratulations to you all. The other thing, I just want to make an overall summary. I've been on the board 8 years, and it's been an interesting ride. So one of the things that I realized, the roles and the duty of county commissioner are numerous, and it varies. And county government is complex, as you can probably see in the discussion we've had today. But at the end of the day, there are certain things that commissioners or any board have responsibility of, and one is a fiduciary responsibility. The other one is policy making, just like we just voted on going forward with our comprehensive plan. And as a fiduciary, I think it's important that this board and any other board stay objective, unselfish, responsible, honest, and trustworthy in the efficiency of the work that they do. The people in Meriwether County and any county in the state really expect their leaders to have a certain amount of trust. And so I think as we move forward, that is one thing that we definitely need to look at. And when we talk about our policies and our procedures, that we help maintain that level of trust to those that we serve. So I want to once again say it's been an interesting and a rewarding path for me to be an elected official. But I also know there's a lot of work yet to be done. I don't think any board ever gets it all done. As it was stated earlier, there are some things that you really don't have control over, and there are other things you do. But in going back, reading the minutes back in 1999 and 1998, it's amazing what was discussed. But the one thing that was consistently being brought up just about at every meeting was roads and recreation. And so once again,
Some things don't change.
some things just don't change, but at the end of the day, trying to be good stewards and fiduciary good stewards of how we spend taxpayer money, I think is an important thing that we as a board and all boards should always keep in mind. So thank you all.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Plant.
I just want to congratulate Ms. King on her continuation on the Board of Education. Look forward to working with you now, and looking forward to working with these three new guys here. So as long as I can keep this seat right here. But with that being said, no, seriously.
We'll seat you in the kitchen.
You're gonna be outnumbered, aren't you?
No, I consider this is coming full circle now, because when I was first elected in '84, I served with four other gentlemen, and it was an honor and a privilege. And I look forward to continuing the next 2 years with you guys. So, and I'm here to help any way I can, any backstory, or if you need any history. I'm old enough. So anyhow, with that being said, thank you for your willingness to serve first and foremost. With that being said, I'm looking forward to the first of the year and new beginnings. So that's it for me.
I just want to offer my congratulations as well. I do thank you for being willing to step up and serve. I mean, most people are not. And it is a thankless job a lot of the time, but you're rewarded yourself when you know, I mean, you're doing what you need to do for the people who live in this county, and you have good people to represent. It doesn't mean you'll agree with them all the time, but I have to say I'm finishing my 13th year, and by far the majority of the conversations and interactions I've had with the people in my district have been positive. I would say 99% of them. And like I said, you don't have to always agree, but you work together for the good of the county. And had the opportunity to attend, along with Commissioner Plant and Michelle, the ACCG regional meeting a couple of weeks ago. It was very informational, and we were glad to be able to invite Commissioner-elect Worsley to go with us, because we already knew he was going to be on the board. I think it was a little eye-opening for him. He made the comment, there's just a lot to all this. And there is. I mean, you just have to know a little bit about a lot of things, but you won't know it right off the bat. It just takes time. And the new commissioner training that you'll be attending, I think it's the very end of November, isn't it, through December the 2nd, I think is the date they set. It'll be a lot of valuable information there, and you'll just meet other commissioners that are in the same seats that you are, that you'll build friendships with, that you'll use in the years to come. I also just want to mention that on November the 18th, that is when the candlelight weekends begin in Warm Springs. We're looking forward to it being a good, 4 or 5, I think it's even maybe 6 weeks up until Christmas. Please try to stop in at some point in time during those weekends. Those merchants need you. They work really hard to keep their business going, but they need local support. They'll be staying open late on the evenings. We're going to have a breakfast with Santa on December the 3rd. That's free, but we do need people to make reservations. So bring your children, your grandchildren, and do that with us, and just support those merchants who work tirelessly for Warm Springs area, but for the county. That is the tourism hub of Meriwether County. And so I appreciate if you just put that down on your calendars and maybe join us sometime during those weeks to come. Thank you.
I just want to say again, congratulations to everybody that won last night. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Kay, I'm looking forward to continuing with you as well. But Buster and I have been a little bit not push back, but we've had 3 ladies on this board. So,
You're not gonna go there.
well, we had, no, let me finish. So we've had 3 ladies to kind of keep us in line. We're looking at a whole hell of a lot of testosterone coming on next year. So let's all work together and keep it there. But I am looking forward to working with each and every one
Wasn't
of
real
you.
sure where he
very
was
much.
going.
Wasn't sure where he
I
was
know.
going.
I was trying to make.
You played that off
I was
really
trying to
good.
make it a good thing, but I know I screwed it up in the beginning. But I am
did
looking
good. You
forward to
did
working
good.
with each of y'all. Anything I can do, I'll be glad to help you. I'll be glad to meet with y'all before you actually get sworn in. We can do that. Maybe we can help guide some of you in some ways, but like Beth said, the training that you all will get, make sure you take notes. Make sure you make those friendships. There are friendships that I made over 10 years ago when I went through it, and I still depend on those people. And what you'll find out, you have people that are running for commissioner or newly elect commissioners that have been in the state seats. And those individuals are a plethora of information. And those are the ones that I made really good friends with, and it has helped me. But when you get through the training, remember that you know the training, remember that you don't know everything else, and we will all get along fine and we will be good to go. So I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you.
Before I move to Commissioner McCoy, I just have to say this. Our granddaughter was elected student council president of her elementary school yesterday. And she called me this morning, and out of the 5 positions, 4 of them are girls. I said, that's okay.
That's girl power, girl power.
Sounds good to me.
Girl power.
Commissioner McCoy.
All I've really got to say is congratulations, Release Shift. Where have you been? No, again, congratulations to all of you that won your offices. Just looking here, Michelle mentioned to you there earlier about the river. If you can at 2 o'clock, please come down, because that was a joint venture between Meriwether County and the state. And we're right proud of that. We think it's a very nice landing there. This week, of course, is Veterans Day, and this Friday at 11 o'clock, there will be a ceremony there at the Post 186. And then at 1 o'clock, I understand, Luthersville Elementary has requested veterans to come up. They're having a program there, so we'll take care of that. As we look back through the years, I guess I'll have to do just a bit of that here. Lake Meriwether Advisory Board last night, we met. Knowing that was going to be my last meeting, we generally do not meet in December because of weather, and there's usually not that much going on there at the lake. So it was kind of an emotional roller coaster for me, because we have done quite a bit there, and I consider Lake Meriwether to be one of the hidden treasures here in Meriwether County. The board all gave me a nice little plaque, which has got Lake Meriwether superimposed in the background, which is I thought was very nice, very touching, and I do appreciate them doing that. I think that's about all I have to say. I saved that little bit for the last, just in case my voice cracked a bit, so.
You do have a heart.
Yeah, but it's hard. You have to find it with a microscope. But anyway, that's all I had, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to our county attorney.
I have nothing to report, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have need for executive session.
Yes, personnel and litigation.
Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be brought up?
I have a couple more things, if you guys don't mind. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Absolutely.
You know that they were working on the drainage system at the courthouse?
Yes.
They did run into a problem. It was an emergency problem. We had to go ahead and approve because they had lined all the drains, and it was literally at the end, there was a lot of construction debris that was blocking the drainage system, so they had to go in there under the slab, and they will have to redo that bathroom as well. I just received an email that the approximate cost is going to be $13,000, so we'll bring that change order to you at the next meeting. Just wanted to let you guys know about that.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I meant to ask this earlier. The last meeting, we talked about Coleman Bridge and what GDOT had offered. Have you heard back from them as of yet?
Mr. Gay has spoke to someone at GDOT.
I had gotten a letter from Mr. McIntyre as well, but if you want to, what they had said on that.
Bad to get over. Yes, but I did hear back from Mr. Dennis McIntyre, who is our board member, And I explained to him that the importance of priorities of bridges, because you guys had already discussed this, or road improvement, was indeed Luthersville Road. So I have put together a packet of material to send him, and I will be getting that over to him this week. We've been a little bit short-staffed, but I do have all that together. And I'll send him also a copy of the narrative that we've got. We've got some
He was
other.
interested in getting that information, though, so
Yes.
he was receptive to at least looking at it.
I
That's
think what
right.
we're trying to do is just get a dollar
It
amount.
was over $500,000.
Over
So it is,
500,000.
so we do have a dollar
Yes.
amount.
We
Okay.
do.
It
It's
was a
over
little over
500,000. And of course, it was, they were going to dedicate it to Coleman Creek Road. But as I told him, the reason Coleman Creek Circle is on that list is only because of the bridge they're doing. And, this is a separate priority that we've had for a long time. We have some photographs, whatever. And I've got, also to talk to them a little bit about some projects we got going up at the industrial park. So I'll be reaching back out to Dennis this week and getting him that information. So hopefully, what we're planning right now is to try to have that all wrapped up. We can get back with you guys maybe at your next meeting and talk about where we want to go with the upcoming LMIG.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Will we have the LMIG list the next go round?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. We'll have it for your next meeting. We're trying to figure out right now what dollars we're going to have to spend to accomplish what we need to accomplish with Luthersville. Then that will leave us the remaining, estimated mileage of road we could get over and beyond that. So we'll have that for you by
I have one
next
other
week.
question then. Since Bill did a spreadsheet of all our roads and the condition he rated them.
Right.
The ones that was rated, say like 3 and 4, that did not quite meet the FDR,
Right.
are there a way, have we had a chance to go back and look and see, are they still rated that? Or have they gotten even worse? So that when you are looking at that list, you can see whether there's been any variation in that. Has that been done?
He was continuously looking at those. In fact, he was out again yesterday. Some of the roads that we think was in the really bad shape, that we probably may or may not have dollars to be able to fix right now. We talked about a safety overlay where we could come in and put an overlay over that to keep the road from further deteriorating and extend the life for just a few years till we can get around to get the funding to do that. So yes, that'll be a aspect of the program and presentation as well.
Madam Chair, I don't have it in front of me, but I did send some information to Michelle regarding a federal program, not a state, but a federal program for doing work on your roads that you can apply directly to the federal government. So Michelle, if you don't mind
I have
following up on that.
forwarded that on, and we'll be working on
See
it.
if there's an opportunity to get funding on the federal level as well.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
That'd be good. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, our future meetings, November 22nd will be our regular meeting at 6 PM. The offices will be closed the 24th and 25th for the Thanksgiving holidays. We appreciate all of you being here. Now we're going to need to go into executive session. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for litigation and personnel?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor? All right, we're in executive session at 9:53. Thank you. All right, motion was made by Commissioner Threadgill and seconded by Commissioner Plant to leave executive session. We're now back in regular session. We do have one item of action. I need a motion to approve the request for employee leave.
So moved.
We have a second? Second. All in favor? Is there any other business to come before the board? Hearing none, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you.